Alright guys, well, in part 2, I said I was going to have it all finished in this video, so I better pull my finger out. Let's get making. Now the first thing I have to do is give a coat of stain to the profile that goes all the way around the edge of the drawers. Oh, I better put that on there. There we go. It's time to do the resin on the front of the drawers. Got myself some scales, put them in a plastic bag in case I drip resin all over them. This is my resin, two-part mix, A and B. I've got myself 3 pots, one for the white, one for the grey and one for the gold. I've got my mica powder for the white, and I'm going to make 1 full pot of white and a half a pot, and then I'm going to mix some black into it to make it grey, and in the third pot just a little bit of gold. Got myself a little propeller from my models, and that'll be good enough for mixing all my resin. Couple of syringes, one for the gold and one for some of the grey, not all of the grey. Most of the grey I'll pour by hand, but just a couple of bits I might do with the syringe if I want some. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. And then my gloves. Oh, and my heat gun. So I think that's about it. If I get this right now, it'll be fantastic. If I get it wrong, all that work for nothing. Let's see how it turns out. Well, now that the colours are all mixed, I just have to set up my drawers and start pouring. next thing I'm going to do is fit the top. But before I do that, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to stain all around the edge, because it's a lot easier to do now than once this is fitted in place. And then to fit it in place, I'm going to drill 12 holes and I'm going to glue it and screw it in place. And then into each of the holes I'm going to put a little wooden dowel, and then tomorrow when the glue's dry I'll plane them all smooth, sand them all down, and hopefully it'll look like it's been wooden pegged into place instead of using screws. Well, I hope so anyway. I'll see you tomorrow. You guys can see in about 2 minutes. Let's get on with it. Well, the last thing I need to do is to make the false marble effect on the second surface of each of the 4 corners. And I'm going to do that by mixing some clear resin in one of these pots. I'm going to pour a little bit of the clear resin into the other pot and add a little bit of gold. And then I'm going to add white powder to the clear resin. And once that's all mixed up, I'll pour a little bit into this one, add a bit of black to make grey. And one of the things that I've had to do, and you've got to make sure if you've got to do anything like this, is to make sure that your pieces are all level. Because otherwise, when you pour your resin in, it'll run to one end or one side and it'll look a right mess. So I've done that with my little squares here, my little spirit levels. And well, that's about it, so let's get on with it. Let's get mixing some resin. The white and the grey are going to get poured onto the surface, but for the gold I'm going to use a little syringe because it's a little bit more fine, a little bit more tricky. If you pour it and you get too much in, you can ruin it. There we go, that should do. Right, let's do the pouring. Start off with the white. Once I've got the white in and it's touching all the edges all the way around, there's no gaps, next thing I'm just going to put some grey. Doesn't matter how you do it, pour it in, it'll look great when it's finished. It's a bit of heat on. And now, just add some of the gold. because I've put wax onto the wood, these little bits that have gone on, doesn't matter, just let them set, and then tomorrow with a knife you can just click and they'll break off. That's how I did it when I did the other side, and it works perfectly. As long as you've got wax on the wood, it's not a problem. Well, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it like that, let it dry. What should I say? Let it cure. Well, I've just finished making these profile pieces, and they're going to sit on the sides and on the back, and all I have to do now is fit these, stain them, and then a little bit of something around the edge on the top, and I've finished. So hopefully it won't be too long now. They're a good fit. Well guys, it's all finished, and it's only now I can really appreciate just how much effort Epic UpCycling puts into making his furniture. And he makes his out of old pallets. Just watching his videos on YouTube was enough to inspire me to have a go at making one of his creations for myself. So I want to thank him for taking the time to make a video and upload it to YouTube. And now, let's have a look how my version of his Apothecary table turned out. Well, there you go guys. What do you think? I'm pleased with how it turned out, especially as I've never made anything like that before. And now that it's finished, it means I can get on with some new projects. Over the next few months, I'm going to be refurbishing a car steering wheel that one of my subscribers has sent me from England. I'm going to be clamping a waterproof camera onto a 21 kilo radio controlled yacht and sailing it in the sea. And then I'm going to show you how I made my aquaponics system and how it works. And if you don't know what that is, subscribe to my channel. Don't miss out guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.